Hello there guys, what is up? It's Mike here, aka Savage Septal 77, and this is going to be my first video on YouTube. This one's gonna be a Pokemon challenge video. Can you beat Pokemon Fire Red with only gift Pokemon? So anyways, I choose the boy character and I name him Mike after my real name. So after naming him Mike, I click yes, then I decide to name my rival Green because I did not have anything too creative in my mind to name him at that time. Anyways, when I reached my home, I played 2 times with the NES for some reason, and then I decided to kick some wild Varitas, but Professor Oak stopped me from doing that. It's animal abuse or something. But anyways, I decide to choose a starter Pokemon because it is also counted as a gift Pokemon, and I choose Bulbasaur. Now the reason why I choose Bulbasaur is because it does really well in the first 2 gyms, and that's what I need. Other team members can cover the other gyms, so that's not much of a problem. So I was thinking a bit too hard on what to name it, but then I just named it Sprout because that's a really good nickname for this thing. Anyways, Green receives Charmander, and now it's our first battle, and this battle was not good at all. It was definitely not good. I lose this battle pretty badly. I try to spam tackle and defeat him, but this guy's Scratch gets a critical hit and he defeats me. So I lose the first battle. Not a great start, but I think I can win against him. But anyways, after battling this guy, I give Professor Rook his parcel and all that. I skip the second rival battle, and I go through the Viridian Forest. I grind a little bit there, and Brock's battle was really easy. Just 2 Vine Whips, and that's pretty much it. The Boulder Badge is in my hand. Also, I forget Growl for Poison Powder, but then I'm trying to learn Sleep Powder, so I forget Poison Powder for Sleep Powder. What a guy. Look at who's roasting himself. But anyways, I received the Boulder Badge, and next I go to Route 3 and grind up my Ivysaur a little bit there, and I grind up my Bulbasaur a little bit there, and it evolves into an Ivysaur. Alright, first evolution. And then after clearing out Route 3 and Mount Moon, I forgot to show you one thing. Well, I'm gonna show you this now. I got the Helix fossil. I forgot to show you that footage, so I'm very sorry. But anyways, I go ahead to defeat Misty, and even this was an easy battle. I destroyed her whole team with Razor Leaf. Starry goes down to 1 Razor Leaf, then comes Starmie. It uses Swift, I use a Razor Leaf, then it uses Swift again. I survive with 26 HP and finish it out. Easy battle. And that's how I defeat Misty, and now I have the Cascade Badge in my hand. And I also get the TM3 Water Pulse. Next I go to Nugget Bridge, and Green meets me there, so we have to battle. So he sends out Pidgeotto first. I go for tackle because I have nothing up against his Pidgeotto, and it uses a bunch of sand attacks to mess my accuracy, but it uses more gust, and it does a lot of damage. It does 16 damage, as you can see. But anyways, I use potions so I can finish off the Pidgeotto. Next I use Lead Seed on the Charmander, and I get burnt by Ember, but I have potions to save me, so that's not much of an issue. But he hits a crit again, like the last battle, and I have to keep using super potions. But anyways, I've got Lead Seed on, so I'll be doing some chip damage here and there. And next, I was bored of tackles, so I think I decide to use Razor Leaf, since it's a stab move and it's more powerful, and it is more powerful. Then Abra comes out, it does nothing, it only knows teleport. It's useless in trainer battles, so I finished off with one Razor Leaf, not a big deal. And finally he sends out a Rattata. I use a super potion just in case I mess up, and I defeat his Rattata with one Razor Leaf. Phew, if there weren't any potions I could have lost this battle, it was so close. But anyways, he promises to smell me later, and now I decide to go to Bill to get the SSN ticket. Here, I'm a Pokemon. No, I'm not. What a weird guy. But anyways, he goes to the teleporter. I save him and transform him into a human again, and I get the SS ticket from Bill. Next, I battle the Team Rocket member who was trying to steal something from a house. Also, I learned 2 new moves, Bullet Seed and Secret Powers. They are TMs, so I can learn them. But anyways, Machop goes with 1 Bullet Seed, and Drowsy is taken to half health with 2 Bullet Seeds. Then I use a Razor Leaf to finish it off with a critical hit. I win this battle, and then I get the TM28 Dig. I thought I could teach it to my Ivysaur, but I cannot. Next I battle Green again in SSN. First is his Pidgeotto as usual, so I use 2 Secret Powers to take it down. Second is his Kadabra, which can do a lot of damage, I'm telling you, since it's a Psychic type. But it goes down to 1 Razor Leaf, and it does not use Confusion or anything. But I find out that Secret Power is disabled. That's a huge problem, since I can't do anything to the Charmeleon, so I have to use some potions. Anyways, so since I have bought 8 more super potions, it's not much of a problem, and I restore back my health with Lead Seed. Also guys, next time please be sure to tell me if you want a run with items or a run without items. Okay, please be sure to tell me that. But anyways, I restore my health with super potion and Lead Seed, and try to finish this thing with Razor Leaves. It's not very effective and it's not doing much damage, but I'm trying my level best. And anyways, it uses a lot of embers also. But finally, somehow I finish it off, and I grew to level 30. Finally comes out is Eradicate, and it's easy. I finished off with a single Razor Leaf. That was awesome. And now I go to the captain and get the HMO1 cut, and since I cannot catch any other Pokemon, I have to teach it to my Ivysaur. Dang it. I hate these HMOs. I'm glad they were removed in Gen 7. They were such a problem. Moves like Fly and Surf are great, but moves like Cut are just not okay, they suck. But anyways, I forget Bullet Seed, a newly learned move for cut, and I decide to go to search in there. I struggle a lot with the trash can puzzle, but I somehow get through it, and now I'm battling Surge. So first comes out his Voltorb. I hope it does not use self-destruct, but it is actually using Screech a bunch of times. I defeat it with one critical hit Razor Leaf. Then comes out his Pikachu. It goes to one Razor Leaf as well. It has really weak defenses. Next up is Raichu, and I was a bit scared for this one cause it knows Double Team, and I'm hoping not to miss. And yeah, I miss once. Then he uses another Double Team, which scares me even more, but I somehow hit a Razor Leaf and win this battle. And I get the TM for Shockwave, which I can teach to a member later. Then I grind up a bit in the east of Vermilion City, and Sprout grows level 32, due to which it evolves into Venusaur so early. This is the advantage of having a Venusaur. I mean the Bulbasaur line. But anyways, I get myself an Eevee and I name it I name it Rai. I name it Rai because that's Rai means thunder in Japanese, and I'm evolving this thing into a Jolteon and giving it the Shockwave TM, which I told you about. So anyways, I get my Eevee, then I buy a Thunderstone and use it on my Eevee, and suddenly Rai is evolving. I mean, not suddenly, but whatever, it evolves into a Jolteon. So anyways, next I defeat the Fighting Dojo members and I get my third member, Hitmonchan. I get Hitmonchan instead of Hitmonlee because it knows much better moves. I mean, it has more coverage, much versatile. It knows moves such as Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, and Fire Punch. And I name it Jackie because it's based upon Jackie Chan. Next I battle my rival and I decide to use this thing since it knows moves such as Ice Punch, and I take down Pidgeotto in one Ice Punch and two Thunder Punches. That was easy. Next up is Execute, and I use a Fire Punch which does half of its health, and I survive with 2 HP and take it down again. Next comes Kadabra, so I do not switch out because I'm an idiot and I get taken out due to confusion. Next comes up Rai, which uses Shockwave, one shot, easy. Next up is a Gyarados, which was another one shot. So next comes his Charmeleon, and I have to use Rai even though Sprout is over leveled. But anyways, I defeat Green with only Hitmonchan and Jolteon, easy. Next I go to Erika's gym, who dozes off due to some reason. But anyways, I wake her up and the battle starts. I start off with Rai to get him some XP, but Victreebel is a grass type which resists electricity. I decide to use Dig, but I'm paralyzed, fully paralyzed, so I can't do anything. Next up comes Jackie, and it uses 3 Fire Punches to, actually not 3, it takes 4 Fire Punches because Erika uses Hyper Potion and I hit a crit to take down Victreebel. Next up is Tangela, which I take down in 2 Fire Punches, pretty easy, level 24 Tangela. And next is a Vileplume, which I take down. Actually, it takes down Jackie because Jackie was left with low health, and I finally have to use Sprout, and I used 2 secret powers to power my way through Vileplume. This was kind of close, but Frowlet was over leveled, so it wasn't much of a problem. But anyways, next I go to Giovanni to battle him. He starts off with Onyx, I start off with Jackie, and I use an Ice Punch, which is enough for 1-hit KO with a critical hit. Next, he sends out a Rhyhorn, which also goes down in 2 Ice Punches. Next comes Kangaskhan, which I try to take down with the Sky Uppercut. It misses. I use another Sky Uppercut. It lives with a sliver of health and takes me down. And I use Rai's double kick and I win the battle. And I get this Sylph Scope, so I can find ghost Pokemon now. And now I battle the dead Marowak, the Cubon's mother. It's a really sad story, and whoever has watched the anime Pokemon Origins must know this story about Team Rocket killing the Marowak. But anyways, I defeat some Team Rocket members, rescue Mr. Fuji, because of which he gives me a Poke Flute. So now I can make my way to Fuchsia City, but before that I decide to battle my rival at the Silphco. It was a bad idea. I lost to him a couple of times. Then next I battle him the 3rd time. I start off with Rai. It uses Shockwave, 2 Shockwaves to take down the Pidgeot. Easy. And next up is Gyarados, so it's 1 Shockwave for the kill. Next comes his Execute, and it puts me to sleep. Actually paralysis, sorry. It puts me to paralysis, so I had to use a paralyze heal. And then I use a Hyper Potion. It uses Confusion, which does a massive amount of damage. I use another Hyper Potion to heal up, and then Jackie uses Fire Punch to take down the Execute. Then he sends out Alakazam. I decide to use Thunder Punch, and it does not do much, so I use Fire Punch instead, and even it does not do that much. And Alakazam, I don't know why he keeps using Future Sight. This game has really terrible artificial intelligence. But anyways, his Charizard comes out and Jackie goes down. Next up, Rai versus Charizard. Rai takes it down below half health with 1 Shockwave. And now we are ready for the Giovanni fight. But before that, I get my Lapras, the next gift Pokemon, and I name it I name it Nessa, after one of the Sword and Shield gym leader. She's my favorite gym leader from Sword and Shield. That's why. But anyways, next I battle Giovanni. I start off with Rai. He starts off with a Nidoran. I finish him off with 2 Shockwaves. And next he sends Nidoqueen. So I use Jackie with Ice Punch and I freeze the Nidoqueen. And I decide to defeat it with Ice Punch since it's freeze, but it got defrosted. So Rai's out again. I know it's a silly decision, but Rai has Dig, and that's why I'm using it. But even that does not do much of a damage. But still, I keep using Dig, and I'm only left with 6 HP before taking out the Nidoqueen. I do not change the Pokemon just so that I can see my Pokemon dying. And next I have Sprout up in the front, and he has his Kangaskhan. It takes me 4 Razor Leaps to take down the Kangaskhan. And next up he sends his Rhyhorn, so I send out Nessa so that it can get some experience. But wait, I do not have Water type move. Oh crap. So I just decide to use Perish Song and switch back to Sprout and troll Giovanni a little bit. And then I use Razor Leaf and I finish off the battle. I defeat Giovanni and I get the free Master Ball, which I cannot use at all. But anyways, I decide to straight up face Sabrina after grinding my Pokemon, since we are very near to her and we are in Saffron City. First up is her Kadabra. I send out Nessa and it uses an Ice Beam. Sabrina uses Hyper Potion. It uses one more Ice Beam with a crit. Next up we have Rai out here, and it uses Shockwave, which does half the damage, and I take the Future Sight from Kadabra. I defeat the Mr. Mime easy. Next up is Venomoth, so I keep Rai thinking that it's a flying type, a part flying type, but it's not. It's bug and poison type, and I kind of get wrecked before taking it out. Next up is Alakazam, and I decide to go for a Pin Missile to see how much damage it does, and it almost takes down the Alakazam while it takes me down. I send out Jackie for fun, but Sabrina uses a Hyper Potion, so it's not as fun as I expected it to be. Alakazam takes Jackie down. Next up I send out Nessa, which uses Ice Beam and finishes off the Alakazam, winning me the Marsh badge. And I get the TM for Calm Mind, which I'm not gonna use. Next up I go to Fuchsia City and Koga's gym, and I battle Koga. I start off with Nessa, which was at low health. It defeats Coughing with one Ice Beam, but it's hard to take down this Muck, so I confuse it first, and then I start going for Water Pulse and Ice Beam, and I easily take down Muck. I never did this because Muck was always the most difficult member to take down. I take down the Coughing in one Ice Beam, and then comes his Weezing, his Ace. I use one Ice Beam, which takes it to half the health. I send out Jackie for fun again. Damn, these team members for fun. But anyways, I use some Fire Punches until Jackie faints. I send out Sprout, but then Koga decides to use a Hyper Potion, and I use a Secret Power. He heals the Paralysis, and then I use a Lead Seed to get off some chip damage, and I keep using Secret Power, and we keep stalling each other. Look at this HP bar go pixel by pixel. Yeah, none of us are doing much damage. But finally, after using Lead Seed and getting many chip damage, I get the 5th badge. The 6th badge actually, since I defeated Sabrina. I get the Soul badge, and I get Gold Team, and I also find a TM for Double Team, which I am not gonna use again. And I also get the HMO3 Surf, and I get all this in the first attempt. Anyways, I give the Gold Teeth to the Warden, and I receive the HM4 for Strength, and I teach Surf and Strength to Nessa. Next up, I directly go to Cinnabar Island to get my final 2 members. Um, there's a scientist here who can resurrect fossils, so I hand him the Helix fossil first, and also the old amber, and both of these are counted as gift Pokemon since they're gifted to you by this guy. He's the one who resurrects these fossils for you. Anyways, I named the Omanite Lord Helix because it's a meme and everyone names this thing Lord Helix. So why not? Even I'm gonna name him Lord Helix. Let's go, Lord Helix. Let us kick Blaine's ass. And next, after a while, I give him the old amber, and I get the Aerodactyl. And I didn't know what to name, but I remember in Pokemon Gold and Silver, in Kanto in Pokemon Gold and Silver, there used to be a guy who gives you an Aerodactyl named Aroy for Chansey, so I named this thing after that. And then I use some rare candies and level up Omanite to Omastar. Lord Helix has evolved into an Omastar. And we decide to beat Blaine next. So after getting the secret key from the Cinnabar mansion, we decide to battle Blaine, and I send out Aroy first. It starts off with Ancient Power and destroys the Growlithe. It's a one-shot, easy. Next up, he sends out his Arcanine, which is his strongest team member, and it's level 47. Arcanine uses Fire Blast, which does a lot of damage for a fire type move against a rock type Pokemon. And this happens due to Aroy's bad special defense, but anyways, I almost take it down with 3 Ancient Powers before it finishes me off. And Blaine uses Hyper Potion, so I also run out on PP for Ancient Power, so it's not that good. But anyways, Lord Helix comes out and uses Surf, which takes down Arcanine. And next up, Isha Ponyta, and Lord Helix uses Surf again. It tanks a Fire Blast pretty easily and uses a Surf, which takes down the Ponyta in one hit. Then we have the Rapidash, and I keep Lord Helix for him because Lord Helix is awesome. He's the god of Pokemon. Arceus is not the god since he can be captured in a Master Ball by a 10-year-old kid. And I beat Blaine and get the Volcano badge and the TM38 Fire Blast. And now we have our final gym. It's Giovanni time, so let us see if we can beat him at this level. And Aroy was low on health, but I still decide to use it against the Rhyhorn. And within a couple of Steel Wings, I take it to red health. Giovanni uses Hyper Potion, and he uses 2 more Steel Wings to take it down to red health. Then he takes the Rhyhorn down. Next comes another Rhyhorn. It's at level 50 this time, and it uses a Rock Blast. 2 Rock Blasts are enough to take down Aroy. So next comes out Lord Helix, and it uses Surf. And next is Dugtrio. Lord Helix uses Surf, which takes Dugtrio down again. It's the real god, Lord Helix. And it uses Surf again. I mean, it was going to use Surf, but Nidoqueen takes it down. And next up is Nessa. I'm sorry. And anyways, Nessa uses Surf, which takes it to red health. Next Surf takes it out. And finally we have the final TM member of Giovanni, Nidoking. 1 Surf takes it out, and we finally get the Earth badge. and Giovanni leaves Team Rocket. That was awesome. Next I battle my rival and I start off with Aroy, and this time you can see our levels have improved. I was pretty under level, so I was like, let us stay under level for a challenge, but not that much, just around, let's stay around the 50s. And anyways, Rai uses Shockwave, it's a one shot, guaranteed one shot. And next up is a Rhyhorn, so I pull out Lord Helix, which uses Surf to take down Rhyhorn in one hit. That was pretty easy. Next up is an Execute, so I switch back to Nessa and I use an Ice Beam which takes down the Execute. And next I use Aroy, which is fighting against this Alakazam. I use Aerial Ace 2 times to defeat the Alakazam. Next up is Charizard, and I keep Aroy because Ancient Power does 4 times the damage, and hence I defeat Green for the final time before the league. Anyways, it's time for the league, and now let us take on the Elite Four. First up we have Lorelei, who uses water and ice types, not purely ice types. Anyways, Jack uses Sky Uppercut, which takes it to yellow health. It uses one more Sky Uppercut to take down the Dugong. Next comes Cloyster, which is Slowbro. Sorry, I use Shockwave and take this thing down. It's down. And next comes Cloyster, which is easy to take down since we have a good special attack and it has a bad special defense. Anyways, she sends out Jinx, so I decide to use Aroy for the Jinx, and I use Ancient Power for a one shot. And next up is a Lapras, so I use Rai again and I use Shockwave, which takes Lapras to almost half health. It almost takes me down with a Body Slam, and then it takes me down with an Ice Beam. Then I send out Sprout and I use Razor Leaf, and it uses Confuse Ray. It's almost taken down. Then Lorelei decides to be annoying and use a full restore. Anyways, I use some, and I finally defeat her with Jackie. And next we have, next up I battle Bruno, who has 2 Onyxes and some fighting type Pokemon. First I send out Lord Helix, which takes down the first Onyx, and then comes the second Onyx, which is again easily taken down by Lord Helix, because Lord Helix is a Lord and it's very strong. And next up we have Hitmonchan, so I use Aroy since it's a flying type and it has an advantage. I use Fly and I hit the Hitmonchan Pun for massive damage, and this time I do even more damage, but it uses counter, so I get taken out. Next up is Lapras. I send out Nessa, which I use to take down Hitmonchan. Next up is Hitmonlee, so Nessa uses Confuse Ray, so I can confuse it, but it somehow lands another Brick Break and thus taking out Lapras. Next comes Lord Helix, and because of Lord Helix's curse, Hitmonlee hurts itself in confusion, but it somehow recovers and takes down Lord Helix. Next up we have Jackie. Oh, it's Jackie Chan versus Bruce Lee. Let's see who's gonna win. Oh, a full restore. But anyways, and Jackie Chan wins the match. And next up it's Machamp, so I do not switch out. I use Jackie. I keep spamming Sky Uppercut to defeat the Machamp, but it has a Citrus Berry, so it restores some health. Then I use Sky Uppercut again and again until I go down, and Rai comes out and finally finishes off Machamp, winning us the second battle. Anyways, it's time for the league, and now let us take on the Elite Four. First up, we have Lorelei, who uses water and ice types, not purely ice types. Anyways, Jack uses Sky Uppercut, which takes it to yellow health. It uses one more Sky Uppercut to take down the Dugong. Next comes Cloyster, which is Slowbro. I'm sorry, I use Shockwave and take this thing down. It's down, and next comes Cloyster. It is easy to take down since we have a good special attack and it has a bad special defense. Anyways, she sends out Jinx, so I decide to use Aroy for the Jinx, and I use Ancient Power for a one shot. And next up is a Lapras, so I use Rai again, and I use Shockwave, which takes Lapras to almost half health. It almost takes me down with a Body Slam, and then it takes me down with an Ice Beam. Then I send out Sprout, and I use Razor Leaf, and it uses Confuse Ray. It's almost taken down. Then Lorelei decides to be annoying and use a full restore. Anyways, I use some, and I finally defeat her with Jackie. And next next I go and battle the final Elite Four member, Lance, who claims that he has dragon types, but he has a Gyarados which isn't even a dragon type. Wow. Anyways, Wright takes down the Gyarados. Next I send out Lord Helix, cause it has learned a new move, Blizzard. And I use Blizzard upon the first Dragonair, which takes it down in one critical hit. Next comes out the second Dragonair, and Blizzard misses. Okay, Blizzard misses again, and it uses Outrage, and Blizzard misses for the fourth time. And Lord Helix faints somehow due to bad luck. Next up, we have Aroy, whom we just taught Dragon Claw. So I use that on the Dragonair, and it hurts itself in confusion. But Lance uses a full restore. He's very supportive to his Pokemon. But anyways, after a few more struggling here and there, I finish off the Dragonair. Next up is his Aerodactyl, so I get taken out. And next we have Nessa up against his Aerodactyl. This is gonna be an easy matchup for— what the— so much damage? Seriously, that's not fair. But anyways, Nessa uses a Surf, and we have to use a full restore to bring back Nessa, or else it's gonna faint. And we use a Surf to finish off the Aerodactyl. Next up is Lance's Dragonite, so I decide to use Sprout and use a full restore on Nessa. Then I decide to do something silly. I try to use Lead Seed on Dragonite just for some chip damage. Then I decide to battle it until it faints, but Sprout gets taken out easily. Next up, I use Jackie instead of Nessa because I'm a silly guy, and I use Rai again, and Dragonite becomes confused because of using too much outrage. Don't be so angry, man, be calm. And I restore some HP here and there again, but it uses a powerful Hyper Beam which takes down Rai, and we only have Nessa left, which of course takes down the Dragonite. And that's how we defeat Lance. Next, it's time to defeat our rival. And now let us see what happens. I start off with Rye against a Pidgeot, and I take it down with 2 shockwaves, no biggie here. And next up he decides to bring out his Rhydon. So I use Lord Helix, which uses Surf, to take down the Rhydon. But unfortunately it gets crit too hard and survives with only 6 HP, actually 9 HP since it leveled up. And then comes the Executor. So I decide to use Aeroy and I use Fly. It tries to use Sleep Powder and it hits, cause well, Fly misses. But anyways, it tries to use Giga Drain, which does a lot of damage, and I use Fly to take it down to half health. Next up I use a full heal, my final full heal. Then I use Fly and I take it to red health, but it defeats me. It takes Aerodactyl out. But anyways, I decide to go for Nessa and finished off with an Ice Beam, and that's exactly what happens. And next up is an Alakazam, so I just use Nessa again. Sorry for saying that switch back thing. But anyways, it almost kills me with Psychic, and he uses full restore when I was about to defeat him. Even I use a full restore. Sorry for that cough. But anyways, sorry again. It uses Surf again, and even he uses a full restore, even I use a full restore. This keeps happening, and but now it goes for Future Sight, so I get a free turn. But again he heals again, which is really annoying. I mean, how many times are you gonna heal, man? Seriously, he healed like 3 times now. But anyways, I decide to use Strength since it's a physical move, but it does about the same damage as Surf, and I use one more full restore, and I finished off with the Strength. And Nessa goes level 54, which was not necessary for me to say now. Anyways, 2 Pokemon left. Rye destroys the Gyarados with a critical shockwave for 4 times damage, and he sends out Charizard. So I decide to keep in Rye and finish off the Charizard, but he uses Fire Blast, which finishes me off. And I send out Nessa, and he uses a Fire Blast, which takes down Nessa also. So I use Jackie, and then I full restore Lord Helix, and Charizard almost finishes me off with the Fire Blast, and it finishes me off with the final Aerial Ace. And finally we have Lord Helix, who knows Rock Tomb now, and it survives the Fire Blast from Charizard and almost finishes it off. That Charizard, that beast is so strong, but it survives a critical Fire Blast and it heals Surf, leading to the victory. So anyways, this is how I won with only gift Pokemon. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please be sure to leave a like and don't hesitate to subscribe and click that bell icon so that you can never miss a video. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.